You've probably heard it 1,000 times. Be kind, always. But here's the truth nobody tells you. When you're kind to everyone, all the time, you end up being unkind to yourself. This isn't about turning cold or hard. It's about protecting your energy, respecting your worth, and giving kindness where it's truly valued. Kindness is a strength. When it's confused with people pleasing, it becomes a weakness that drains you instead of building you. A lot of women are taught from an early age to always smile, to always agree, to always keep the peace, no matter what it costs them. And on the surface, that looks like kindness. It looks like generosity, patience, and compassion. But underneath, it's often something else. It's the fear of being disliked, the fear of disappointing people, the fear of being called selfish or difficult. That's not kindness. That's people pleasing. Here's the difference. Kindness comes from a place of choice. People pleasing comes from a place of fear. When you're kind, you're in control. You decide to give your time, your energy, or your understanding because you truly want to. It's authentic. When you're people pleasing, you're not really giving. You're trading. You're trading your comfort, your boundaries, and your peace in exchange for approval. And that's a deal you'll never win, because people's approval is temporary and conditional, while your self-respect should be permanent and non-negotiable. Think about it like this: kindness builds you up, people. Pleasing tears you down. When you do something kind for someone who deserves it, you feel good. You feel proud of who you are. When you say yes out of pressure, when you stay quiet to avoid conflict, you put yourself last just to make someone else comfortable. You feel empty. You feel resentful. And that's the cost of confusing kindness with people pleasing. The problem is that people pleasing doesn't actually make people love you more. It just teaches them how much they can take from you without asking. It sets the standard that your time is free for the better. Your boundaries are flexible and your feelings don't matter. And the more you feed that pattern, the more people will expect it. Before you know it, you're surrounded by people who don't value your kindness. They just use it. Kindness doesn't require you to hurt yourself. Real kindness doesn't mean bending until you break. Real kindness has limits. If someone asks too much, kindness can still say no. If someone disrespects you, kindness can still walk away. If someone takes advantage, kindness can stop giving. That's the difference most people miss. Kindness is strong enough to set boundaries. Pleasing avoids boundaries altogether because boundaries risk rejection. And here's the truth: when you stop people pleasing, you might lose some people. The ones who only stuck around for what you gave them for free, they'll disappear. But the people who respect you, the ones who care about you, they'll stay. And their respect will grow because you're finally showing them who you really are, someone who can love others without abandoning herself. So the next time you're about to say yes when you really mean no, pause and ask yourself, is this kindness? Is this people pleasing? One will fill you up, the other will hollow you out, and you deserve to live full, not empty. Kindness and people pleasing often get mistaken for the same thing, but they couldn't be more different. Kindness is a choice. People pleasing is a habit built on fear. When you're kind, you're giving from a place of strength. Or you're offering your time, your energy, your patience, because it's in your nature to do so, and you truly want to. That's genuine, and it leaves you with a sense of peace. People pleasing, on the other hand, isn't really about the other person. It's about you trying to control how others see you. You're not giving because you want to, you're giving because you're afraid of what will happen if you don't. That's not freedom. That's bondage. For many women, this habit begins young. You're told to be polite, to be agreeable, to not rock the boat. You learn that making other people comfortable is more important than speaking up for yourself. And so you carry that into adulthood, where every yes you say, even when you don't mean it, chips away at your own sense of worth. You smile when you're exhausted. You stay quiet when something hurts you. You go along with plans you never wanted in the first place. And people call you so nice or so easygoing. But inside, you feel drained and invisible. That's not kindness. That's self-abandonment. Kindness always involves respect, not just for others, but for yourself. People pleasing leaves you with no respect at all. You think you're avoiding conflict. Really, you're just moving the conflict inward. Every time you silence yourself, you're creating an internal war. The outside, you look agreeable, but inside, you're resentful, frustrated, even angry. That bottled up anger doesn't go away. It leaks into your relationships, your health, your peace of mind. And the people you're trying so hard to please don't even notice the sacrifice you're making. The hard truth is that people pleasing doesn't buy you love or loyalty. It just teaches others that you'll bend over backwards to keep them happy. They don't see you as kind. They see you as convenient. And convenience doesn't earn respect. The more you give without boundaries, the more they expect, and the cycle never ends. But when you practice true kindness, it looks different. It's generous, but it's not endless. It's compassionate, but it's not V. It's giving. It knows when to stop. Kindness says, I'll help you when it's right, but it also says no when it needs to. The turning point comes when you realize that saying no is not unkind. Saying I can't do this right now is not selfish. Speaking your truth, even if it disappoints someone, is not cruel. In fact, it's the most honest form of kindness because you're showing up authentically instead of offering a fake version of yourself. The people who truly value you will understand. The ones who don't were only there to take advantage of your silence anyway. At the end of the day, kindness lifts you and others. People pleasing drains you and blinds you to your own value. If you want to live with peace, with dignity, with real connection, you have to stop confusing the two. Choose kindness, people pleasing. One will help you grow, the other will keep you small. Self-respect is the foundation of everything you allow and everything you tolerate. You sacrifice it in the name of being kind. What you're really doing is teaching the world that your dignity is negotiable. Women are told that being kind means being endlessly available, endlessly patient, endlessly forgiving. Kindness comes at the cost of your self-respect. It's not kindness anymore. It's surrender. And when you surrender your own dignity, You stop being seen as someone to respect and start being seen as someone to use. Truth is, self-respect and kindness are not opposites. They're partners. Real kindness has to flow from a place of strength. And strength comes from respecting yourself enough to set limits. If you give and give without pause, if you never draw a line, you end up depleted, resentful, and invisible. That's not noble, and it's not healthy. It's the quiet destruction of your identity. The most powerful kindness is the kind that honors you first, because you can't give to others what you're constantly stripping from yourself. Think about what happens when you put everyone else ahead of you. You start saying yes to requests you don't have the time or energy for. Accept behavior that makes you uncomfortable because you don't want to be seen as rude. You allow people to talk over you, dismiss you, or take you for granted because correcting them feels like confrontation. Each small act might feel like kindness. Together, they add up to self-betrayal and the people around you. They rarely notice the sacrifices you're making. Instead, they get used to it. They come to expect it. Before long, your kindness isn't seen as a gift, it's seen as a given. Respecting yourself means being willing to disappoint others. It means saying no even when it feels uncomfortable. It means holding your ground even when someone pushes back. At first, it will feel like you're being unkind because you've been conditioned to equate kindness with endless compliance. Over time, you'll see the difference. Self-respect creates space for healthier relationships. The people who value you will adjust and respect your boundaries. The ones who only cared about what they could take from you will fall away. And as hard as that may feel, it's actually freedom. Self-respect also changes the way you see yourself. When you set a boundary and honor it for the better, you prove to yourself that your voice matters. When you say no without apology, you remind yourself that your time is valuable. You walk away from someone who disrespects you. You confirm that your worth is not up for negotiation. And that confidence is magnetic. People respond differently to you when you respect yourself. They listen more carefully. They think twice before crossing you. They treat you with the dignity you demand. Kindness without self-respect is just weakness in disguise. But kindness backed by self-respect is powerful. It's clear, it's strong, and it leaves both you and others better for it. So stop giving away your dignity in the name of being kind. Protect it, honor it, and let it be the standard for how you treat yourself and how you allow others to treat you. Because the world will only respect you as much as you respect yourself. There's a hidden cost that comes with being kind to everyone, and most of the time, that cost is you. Every time you overextend yourself, every time you put someone else's needs above your own without pause, you chip away at your energy, and energy isn't limitless. When you spend all of it keeping everyone else happy, you end up with nothing left for yourself. This is where exhaustion, burnout, and even resentment grow. The world will tell you to keep giving, keep smiling, keep saying yes, but what they don't talk about is the bill that comes due when you've given more than you had to give. At first, it might feel good to always show up for others. You feel helpful, generous, appreciated. But over time, you notice that people rarely give that same effort back. They call when they need advice, when they need comfort, when they need a favor. And you're there because you're kind. But when you're the one who's hurting, you're the one who needs a hand, it's quiet. That's when the cost shows itself most clearly. You've built relationships where giving is one-sided, and you're the one holding the weight. The hidden cost isn't just physical tiredness, it's emotional emptiness. When you give too much, you start to lose touch with your own needs. You can't remember the last time you rested without guilt. You forget what it feels like to do something just for yourself. You're so busy tending to everyone else's world that your own starts to collapse in silence. And the cruel part is around you notices. They just see you as strong, reliable, the nice one. But inside, you're drained. This is why boundaries matter so much. Without them, kindness turns into sacrifice. And sacrifice without balance is self-destruction. You don't owe your energy to everyone. You don't owe constant availability, constant patience, or constant support. When you give that away freely, you teach people to expect it without gratitude. And expectations without gratitude turn into entitlement. Before long, stop even seeing your kindness. They just assume it's your job. But here's the truth. You can't pour of your life from an empty cup. You can't keep showing up for everyone else if you're not showing up for yourself. The cost of ignoring this isn't just burnout. It's bitterness. It's that heavy feeling in your chest when you realize you've built connections where you feel used, not valued. And bitterness doesn't make you less kind. It makes you disconnected from who you really are. Because deep down, you know you deserve better. Protecting your energy doesn't make you cold. It doesn't make you selfish. It makes you wise. It means you understand that kindness has to be sustainable. And the only way it's sustainable is if you honor your own limits first. The people who truly care about you will respect those limits. Who don't were never really there for you. They were there for what you gave them. And losing them isn't a loss, it's a release. So remember this, kindness is beautiful, but it's not free. It always costs something. Make sure the price isn't your peace, your health, or your happiness. Because if kindness empties you, it's no longer kindness. It's a debt you shouldn't be paying. Not everyone deserves your kindness, and that's a truth many struggle to accept. We're taught to treat everyone the same, to give without question, to be endlessly generous. On the surface, it sounds noble. But in reality, not every person you meet values your kindness. Some see it as weakness, others see it as an open door to take advantage. That's why selective kindness matters. It protects your energy, your time, and your heart from being wasted on people who don't respect it. Selective kindness doesn't mean being cruel or selfish. It means being wise. It means recognizing the difference between someone who appreciates what you offer and someone who only takes because they can. You give kindness to everyone without boundaries. You end up pouring into people who drain you dry. You're selective. You give to the right people. The ones who see your effort, who respect your limits, and who give something back, even if it's just gratitude. Think of your kindness like a resource. Wouldn't hand out your paycheck to strangers who didn't earn it. You wouldn't give your house keys to someone who doesn't care about your safety. Yet many people give away their kindness in the same careless way and then wonder why they feel used or unappreciated. Kindness, trust should be given intentionally. When it's given to everyone, it loses its value. When it's directed at the right people, it becomes powerful and meaningful. There will always be people who see your kindness as an opportunity. They'll push your boundaries, trip you when you say no, and act as if your generosity is their entitlement. These are the people who drain you. Selective kindness is what protects you from them. It gives you permission to pull back, to say, this person doesn't get access to my heart, my time, my help. That doesn't make you unkind. It makes you discerning. And discernment is what keeps kindness from turning into self-destruction. Being selective also means valuing yourself enough to choose wisely. You get to decide who deserves your attention. You get to decide who earns a place in your circle. You get to decide who benefits from your generosity. And when you start filtering, you'll notice something, the quality of your relationships improves. Instead of being surrounded by takers, you're surrounded by people who value and respect you. The more intentional you are, less you feel drained, and the more you feel fulfilled. Selective kindness isn't about shutting people out. It's about letting the right people in. It's about shifting from, I have to be kind to everyone, to, I choose who I give my kindness to. That shift gives you back your power, reminds you that your kindness is not an obligation, it's a gift. And gifts should go to people who will cherish them, people who will abuse them. At the end of the day, kindness has the most impact when it's appreciated. Being kind to everyone spreads you thin. Being kind selectively allows you to go deeper, to give more meaningfully, to actually make a difference. Don't confuse being kind with being used. Let your kindness be intentional, not automatic. Because when your kindness is selective, it becomes stronger, more respected, and far more powerful. Saying no is one of the hardest things for many women because so often it feels like rejection, conflict, or even cruelty. The truth is, there is no real kindness without boundaries. Boundaries are not walls that shut people out. They're fences that protect what matters most: your peace, your time, and your dignity. Every time you hold a boundary, you're sending a message: my well-being is valuable, my needs are important, I will not abandon myself to make you comfortable. That is strength, and it's the kind of strength that transforms your kindness from something people exploit into something people respect. You don't have boundaries. You end up living life on everyone else's terms. You say yes when you're exhausted. You agree to things you resent. You let people interrupt, overstep, and take more than they give. At first, it feels easier to let it slide. After all, you don't want to seem rude. But over time, that pattern erodes your confidence. You stop trusting yourself to speak up. You start feeling invisible. And eventually, you realize you've trained people to ignore your limits because you never enforced them. Boundaries are not unkind. They are actually one of the greatest expressions of respect, both for yourself and for others. When you say no clearly, you're being honest. You're not giving a fake yes. You're not pretending to be okay. while secretly resenting the situation. That honesty allows real relationships to grow because people know where you stand. Boundaries may upset people in the short term. In the long term, they create healthier dynamics. The people who truly care about you will adjust. The ones who don't, they'll fall away, and that's not a loss. It's a blessing. Strength in boundaries also means protecting your energy. Are not meant to be endlessly available. Your time and attention are finite, and if you give them to everyone, you'll have nothing left for yourself or the people who truly matter. Saying no is not shutting someone down. It's choosing where to invest your limited energy. And when you invest wisely, you show up as your best self, not a drained, resentful version of you. Many women fear that setting boundaries will make them less likable. But here's the irony. Actually, respect those with strong boundaries more. They trust you because you're clear. They value your yes because it's real. And they admire you because you're not afraid to protect your worth. Boundaries don't push people away. They draw the right ones closer. The wrong people may leave. The right ones stay and respect you more deeply. There is nothing unkind about protecting yourself. In fact, it's the foundation of genuine kindness. When you say no, you're preserving your energy so that when you do say yes, it comes from a place of authenticity. That's the kind of kindness that matters. The kind that's real, not forced. Boundaries aren't selfish. They are self-respect in action. And when you stand firm in them, you remind the world and yourself that you are worthy of respect, not just kindness. When you stop being overly kind to everyone, something interesting happens. Some people disappear. At first, it might feel painful. You've built relationships on always saying yes, always being available, always putting others first. So when you finally start setting limits, when you begin protecting your energy, the people who only valued you for your endless giving will push back. They'll call you selfish. They'll guilt trip you. And eventually, many of them will drift away. But here's the truth. That's not a loss. It's a filter. The wrong people leave and the right people stay. The wrong people stay in your life as long as you're convenient. Like you, as long as you're agreeable. They're happy with you as long as you're giving more than you get. The moment you stop overextending, the moment you say no instead of yes, they show their true colors. They weren't in your life for you. They were in it for what they could take from you. And when that supply runs out, so does their loyalty. It hurts, but it's also freedom. Because every time someone like that leaves, you create space for people who actually see you, value you, and respect you. The right people don't love you because you never say no. They don't stick around because you bend over backwards to keep them happy. They stay because of who you are, not what you do for them. They respect your boundaries. They don't punish you for protecting your peace. In fact, they admire you for it. These are the people who understand that kindness is a gift, not an obligation, and they never want to take advantage of it. With them, your kindness feels good. It feels mutual. It feels appreciated. Feels safe. When you stop being overly kind to everyone, you also gain clarity. You begin to see the difference between people who clap when you win and people who only show up when they need something. You notice who checks in on you without an agenda. You notice who listens when you speak instead of only waiting for their turn. You start to see who deserves your energy and who doesn't. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You begin to choose more carefully, and with every choice, your life gets lighter and healthier. It takes courage to let go of the wrong people. It takes strength to endure the discomfort of disappointing others. On the other side of that discomfort is peace. The people who remain, the ones who stay when you stop over giving, are the ones who truly belong in your life. They're not there for your constant kindness. They're there for you. And that's the kind of connection that lasts. So don't fear losing people when you stop being kind to everyone. The ones who leave were never really yours to begin with. The ones who stay, those are your people. And they'll respect you more, love you more, and value you more because you finally respected yourself enough to stop giving pieces of yourself away to everyone who asked. You stop being kind to everyone. You finally start being kind to yourself. That's the shift. Kindness is never the problem. The problem is when it becomes endless giving without boundaries, without respect, without balance. You've seen the cost exhaustion, resentment, and relationships built on convenience instead of care. You've also seen the reward of change, clarity, peace, and the freedom of knowing that the right people will stay while the wrong ones fade away. The truth is, protecting your energy doesn't make you less kind. It makes your kindness more powerful, more intentional, and more respected. Because when your yes actually means yes, when your time is given freely and not out of guilt, your kindness carries weight. It matters. And the people who truly value you will honor it. So here's the conclusion. Stop abandoning yourself to keep everyone else comfortable. Stop confusing being agreeable with being kind. Stand firm in your boundaries, protect yourself, respect, and choose who you give your kindness to. Everyone deserves it, and that's okay. The ones who do will never leave you for it. They'll respect you more. In the end, that's not just kindness, it's strength.